next housemate to be evicted from the Big Brother Niger 10/10 house is Tracy Denari. A lot of you are keeping your enemies close. Some of you are keeping your friends far.
Guys, I must tell you something. This week in Big Brother's house is going to be very hot. If you are not happy with how the eviction show went this Sunday, raise your hand. I wish I could also raise my legs. Cause what the hell? I'm going to divide this video into 3 parts. First, about the eviction show. Secondly, about the reaction during the eviction show. And thirdly, about this impending drama, this hot case between Joanna, Mide, Imisi, and Isabella. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Lucy's Quick One, talking the Big Brother Nigeria show season 10. 10/10, no zero, no minus, 10 over love, 10 over drama, 10 over grass growth, and everything in between. So guys, the eviction show this Sunday started with Ebuka evicting the first housemate, Dinari. And I know that a lot of people were like, they were expectant, they knew that this guy is going to be going home. And I was very happy with the pace to which the eviction show started. So of course, Dinari was evicted from the show. And you know, the first thing Ebuka is asking by the time he's outside is, I know you're happy to go and meet Doris. And he was like, yeah, I knew I was going to be leaving the show very soon and all of that. And then Ebuka was asking, like, this thing about Doris, is it really serious? And he said, yes, see, I think I have found the one. I was like, wow, woo. And then, you know, he talked about his run on the show. And I would say, like I said in my last episode, when I was talking about the wager presentation, I said I could see that this guy is quite talented. I could see that this guy has a lot to offer. So while he was talking with Ebuka, he said, you know, he's going for everything and anything possible as he leaves the show. And I wish him nothing but the very best. I knew this guy, I think Denari also knew that he was going to go home. The way he was dressed, his demeanor, he had already clocked out of the house. So, I mean, he being evicted was just expected, and he knew that he was leaving the show already. So Ebuka comes back, right, to talk with the housemate, and he's talking to Thelma about she being head of house and she not being a unifier, and talking about the fact that, you know, there have been issues, especially with Imisi, and Thelma was telling Kola that, you know, if not for the fact that Kola and Imisi are friends, Thelma Lawson, will not be having anything to do with Imisi. And then, you know, Thelma was like, see, I'm not here for peace, I'm here for war, I'm here for drama, I'm here for the game.
It's not my job to bring the house together. We're different personalities. We're not here to be friends.
I remember I broke down the conversation that Thelma Lawson had with Kola as well as Mide. There was Bright Morgan and Tracy in that conversation. In one of my episodes where they were having a conversation about Imisi and Isabella and Sultana. You should really check that out. So Thelma Lawson was standing her ground saying, see, I'm not interested in peace. I am here for the game. And, you know, time was already going. And I was expecting the next eviction. Next, Ebuka comes and he was like, okay, housemates stand. By the way, Faith won the most influential player of the week. How this guy keeps on getting this thing, I don't know. Because, you know, I feel like they don't like the guy. But he still keeps on winning. Like, I always win. They really follow this guy. So back to the eviction show, right? Ebuka comes to tell the housemate, nominated housemate, to stand. And the next thing, he's calling Zita. And Zita was ready to leave. I have never seen this kind of thing before. And then Ebuka was like, you've been saved. And the girl was not happy to be saved. I was really confused. Guys, this is like the first time in the history of Big Brother that we would have the largest amount or largest number of housemates that really just want to go home before the end of the show. I mean, we've had Zita say she want to go home from her reaction. I've heard Isabella say she would like to go home. I have heard Jason J say he would like to go home. At some point, Culture said he would like to go home. Like, the rate at which these housemates are saying they want to go home, they are tired, is quite interesting. Even the next housemate that was evicted at the end of the day said at some point that she wanted to go home. But anyways, Ebuka comes and he's like, Zita, you've been saved. And Zita is grumbling and she sits. He goes on to call Coin, and I knew that Coin was going nowhere. He said, Coin, you've been saved. He goes on to call Faith, who won most influential housemate. He says, you're going nowhere. And then Ebuka is like, I'll be right back. I was like, come on now. If you're right back at 7:33 p.m. Nigerian time or West African time. When are we going to finish the eviction show? So Ebuka comes back later on. After I was like, I don't need this suspense, please. I need 10 people to leave the house. Ebuka comes and then he evicts Tracy.
It's very probable. Tracy.
And you can see that, from last week where we had the eviction show, Tracy and Zita, I talked about the fact that they had formed this kind of 6 months, as well as Joanna and Dede. So, of course, Zita tried to hug her, was like, just wait, she starts to cry. She's like, I don't understand, like, why are you guys taking all my loves away? First it was Dambo's kid, now you're taking Tracy away. Tracy already also kind of knew that she was leaving. So Tracy comes out of the house and Ebuka is talking to her. He said, you said you wanted to go home, now you're outside. And Tracy was like, no, if you guys wanted me to be in the house, you would have voted for me. I was like, Tracy, choose a side. Do you want to stay or do you want to leave?
And so was like, I'm not used to such like loud spaces and everything, so that's why.
I would say that, Tracy is another housemate that I would say took her time to unfold or to open up when it comes to the game. I mean, at the beginning, she was a bit uptight, but later on, she was having the best fun at pool parties, having the best fun at the Saturday night party, which was also an amazing party. I think the likes of Ruboy, Jason J, and Konyi rocked that party on Saturday so well. But anyways, Tracy has been opening up so far, and I would say that she had a good run. She's quite an intelligent lady, and I wish her nothing but the best. Guys, the last part of this video, because at the end of the day, we didn't have any other person to leave the house again. Ebuka goes back into the house to talk to Imisi. Remember last week he was talking to Imisi and Imisi was like, hey, I'm tense, I cannot really answer you. So Ebuka was like, so last week I was trying to talk to you. You said you were tense. But after the eviction show, you had a lot to say about, Mide and Joanna. And I've heard you have conversations with Isabella, calling Joanna and Mide different types of names. So what is happening right here? And then Imisi was like, I never called these girls' names. Isabella was the one that called these girls' names.
Anglerfish and Dracula was said by Isabella. Today,
Ebuka goes to Ruboy. I remember, I think on Thursday or Friday, Ruboy was talking to, I think it was after the wager presentation, Ruboy was talking to Culture for the longest about how he feels like Thelma Lawson disrespects him. And then later on, he was also having the same conversation with Dede. And Dede was like, see, you guys are not an item. Why you guys keep on going back and forth like children? She doesn't understand. Like, you guys need to clock whatever it is that is happening, have a conversation as adults, and then move on. Only for us to come today and to see that Thelma Lawson and Ruboy were having a kind of argument, disagreement. So Ebuka was like, what exactly happened? And then Ruboy was like, he feels like, the whole problem with Thelma Lawson is because he was the first person to say, oh, Thelma Lawson, I like you as a person, I'm interested in you. And he feels like she's demanding loyalty from him whenever, because she said that, Thelma Lawson accused him of not having her back whenever people are gossiping about her amongst themselves. And he was like, but people talk about me too, and you are there, but you don't have my back either. So he doesn't understand why Thelma Lawson will be treating him the way she treats him without having to have any form of loyalty for him as well. So he kept on going on, and Ebuka had to be like, you know what, let's end it there. To be honest, like watching the show, right, I would say that first off, different people have a way of reacting or accepting or dealing with rejection. The fact that Thelma Lawson rejected Ruboy in one way or the other kind of like bruised this guy's ego. Whether you want to agree with me or not, that's what's actually happening. And I would say that the guy has tried to carry himself as best as he can when it comes to the show and Thelma Lawson's rejection the best way. But it feels like Thelma kind of like doesn't like the guy. But for Thelma Lawson to now be asking for loyalty from a guy you do not like is something that I see that is still a bit like far-reaching. If you don't know that you don't like this person, it's fine. It's all well and good. Allow the person live his or her life. Thelma Lawson has a domineering personality. Thelma Lawson has a competitive spirit, and I think that somehow it doesn't sit well with Ruboy. And because they've already had this whole I like you, I do not like you conversation, and it didn't end well, I think that their relationship will be quite dicey. So my advice to Ruboy will be, just like Dede said, have a conversation with Thelma Lawson and let it end there. Do not expect from Thelma Lawson, and then Thelma Lawson, do not expect from Ruboy. If you are rejecting somebody, reject the loyalty too, and let peace reign. Now, before Ebuka could come back to say goodbye to the housemates, I could hear Mide and Joanna go for Imisi and Isabella back to back to back. And then Ebuka is coming to say the show is ended. No eviction again. God, I was so angry. How would you leave? So we had 19 before. Now we have 17 housemates left in the house. The show is about to come to an end. I don't know, that maybe it's next week, Sunday that we'll have 5 people leave the show. But if you guys know Ebuka and Big Brother, please tell him that we want to watch the eviction show to have more people leave the show and not so few. I understand, like I always say that, you know, these guys are really playing their game well, and that's why it's quite dicey to even know who the winner would be. But at the end of the day, people really have to go home. If you want to go home, let them go home. That's it when it comes to, you know, the Big Brother Naija show, the eviction show this Sunday. Joanna, Mide, Imisi, and Isabella went at it immediately after the show. They kept on calling each other names back to back. That's why I said, guys, that this week is going to be hot because Isabella will not agree. Joanna, who doesn't talk too much, will not agree. Mide, who has blossomed into a full personality, will not agree. So I know that there will be a lot of clashes in the house come this new week. And I guess we are all here for the drama. Till then, I got you more right here on this channel. Remember to enjoy every moment. Bye.